this is from the indictment, and I think we all just have to enjoy. Bannon turned himself in. He was not arrested, and then he posted bond and left. Yeah. So this is like I'm curious. This is a very short one from Greg Kelly. It's called DOJ harasses Bannon but won't seek out real answers about January 6th. Greg Kelly reports. It's got 23,000 views. Newsmax has 2 million subscribers. I'm just saying, like and subscribe. How am I ever going to compete if I don't buy subscribers like these folks do? Only because of you. 1,000 people in the chat's coming up. We're getting close. Share the show. That'll do it. That's how we do it. Day by day. I'm old Greg. I showed you my downstairs mix-up. It's old Greg. Sorry. Do you love me? Are you playing your love games with me? So, Greg Kelly, the most unloved man and the angriest man on the interwebs, defending Steve K. Bannon in the best way he knows how, which is from a distance. From a distance, Steve's smell is the way from us.
It's crazy. They politicized everything. Poor Steve Bannon. I actually like this guy, the former advisor to
I actually like this guy.
President Trump. He helped run the campaign for a while. He has been indicted by...
Wait, when did he run it? Was he running it when before or after Paul Manafort arranged for Russians to show up at the RNC and all that kind of stuff? Who was that? You'll have to remind us, Greg. Tell us the story about when Steve Bannon was running things and how well it was going.
Biden Justice Department. He refused to cooperate with that ridiculous January 6th committee, didn't answer the subpoena, and now it's
a crime to not actually do that.
Criminal indictment for not answering that subpoena. Look.
Well, that's weird. It's almost like we have a rule of law in the country and that people are expected to live up to it. It's so peculiar.
The fact that they're harassing this guy shows you that they
wouldn't have to if he just had answered their request to speak, or indeed honored the subpoena and come forward and said, I'm evoking executive privilege, for example. Right?
Don't care about what happened on January 6th. They just want to try to damage Trump. Steve Bannon.
How could they damage Trump? It's a witch hunt. No, but nothing happened, right? That's the whole thing, right? You got to know that. All he's got to do is walk in there and say, here's what really happened. Check out this little video I made on the day that totally exonerates me. It's that easy. How could you possibly go wrong?
Not on Capitol Hill on January 6th. They're trying to get him for the stuff he said.
He was not on Capitol Hill. That's the defense, Greg? He was not on Capitol Hill. Motherfucker, he was at the Willard with Roger Stone and Rudy Giuliani in rooms that Jeanine Pirro played for, coordinating with groups like the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys and all that. That's the whole point of this. Not on Capitol Hill. Yeah, he was in the zip code.
Podcast. Oh, what were you thinking on such and such a day? If they really wanted to find out what happened on January 6th and how to prevent it from happening again, they would be trying to find that little cop and ask, why were you actively waving people in through the gates? Who are you? Why did you do that? They'd also be trying to find this guy.
Well, yeah, if it is indeed a cop. Yeah, that would be an issue. Now, part of it was because, and Greg, I know this is a simple explanation in deference to you. When you have people in danger in the left side of a building, and you have to get the people in the left side of the building to safety, and you know that people are going to storm into the building, and once they enter the building, they can go right or they can go left. And you don't have enough people there to stop them from coming in, but you can direct them in a way. You have enough people to keep them going in one direction to avoid the people in the left side of the building so they can be taken to safety. So when they're coming in the front and they're starting to circle around, and you know you have to get people out this way, you send them that way. So you wave them on purpose. Yeah, no, come on in. You guys can go this way. Yeah, over here, right up the steps. Yeah, because they're fucking dumb.
And
1,000 people in the chat. We did it! What's happening? 1,000 people joining us in the chat today. Thank you so much for being here, honoring me with your presence. Imagine how it feels to just have people. That's how many people are in here talking. That's not even who's just watching. That's the people who are chit-chatting. So if I miss some of the conversation, I apologize. But I love you and thank you.
Others, by the way, he's not the only one, but there are some people.
A black guy! That's Greg. That's Greg like, hello, Black Lives Matter. There's clearly a black guy there. Why is he not being, what's happening?
That have not found their way onto an FBI watch list or wanted list. Who is this guy? What was he looking at as everybody else was looking in the other direction?
Yeah, I don't know, Greg. It seems interesting that he's standing around a lot. He's observing. Cut to the footage of him hitting a cop with a Blue Lives Matter flag. Let's do it.
How did he get himself right next to Ashley Babbitt when she was shot? And speaking of Ashley Babbitt, how about those cops who just walked away?
Oh, so that I see. So that's why he cares about this guy. He just found 2 shots of the guy standing around. And this is
moments before Ashley Babbitt was shot. They're not under any direct threat whatsoever. And watch, they walk away, and then all hell breaks loose. These guys start pounding on the doors like crazy, and a few moments later...
And are those Capitol Police?
Ashley Babbitt is shot. Why do those cops just walk away? I'd like to know that. Steve Bannon...
Because they believe that they're on Trump's side in this. And by the way, so there's a barricaded door. There are police officers on the other side of it. There are police officers allegedly on this side of it. They clear out of the way because a giant crowd is coming their way and it looks dangerous, or what have you, whatever their reasoning is. And now you feel like it's okay to do this.
Can't answer any of those questions. Steve
Sorry. Run that by. Sorry, Greg. Run that by. Or so those cops are just supposed to die. And
I'd like to know that. Steve
what makes it okay for that to happen? Greg, do you think this is how the Electoral College is going to be flipped? Is this how a new vote is going to be taken? Is that the purpose of this action? Fuck her and fuck them. This is meaningless. All you're saying is that this is justified on Trump's behalf because Greg Kelly wants to be the Baghdad Bob of Trumpistan.
And can't answer any of those questions. Steve Bannon will not be able to help, but they indicted him.
Why? How do you know he won't be able to help? How do you know that some of the communications he didn't have weren't with Trump-friendly Capitol Police, for example? Maybe that's one of the biggest concerns. Maybe those folks still work there. Perhaps that might be in the communications. If it isn't, showing them would certainly cover that. Right?
Interesting. You know, being in contempt of Congress is not a big deal. It's like getting detention at high school. It's just not that.
Is it? Oh, okay. So basically, Greg, being in contempt of Congress is just like detention in high school. So those kids were just, they were just rowdy kids on a weekend going a little crazy at the dance. The fuck?
Deal. Eric Holder, Obama's AG, he was held in contempt of Congress. They didn't indict him. All right. They
didn't have to. He ended up speaking.
This is all a bit much. We'll see how
they fought it in court. He didn't just not show. He answered it in court.
All plays out, but I want answers to those questions, and Steve Bannon won't be able to get them.
How do you know? By the way, subpoena Greg Kelly. Honestly, If Greg Kelly knows that Steve Bannon doesn't know the answers to those questions, then he knows who does, or he knows why Steve Bannon wouldn't be aware of those details because he was aware of or in charge of other details. How can you assert such a thing? You can assert that somebody deserves their time in court. You can assert that they have the presumption of innocence, or they don't. You could say that it's an invasive subpoena, something like that. Throw those things up. But if you're saying they're not going to get the answers from Steve Bannon, he doesn't know the answers, how can you assert that other than the fact that you're talking out of your ass, which is more than likely the reality here, or Greg Kelly does know the answers to some of those because he talks to some of these idiots, or they feel like, oh God, I have to, here comes Kelly again. Fuck, man, just tell him a side story so he pisses off.